In this video, I'm going to explain dilution ratios, what they are, and how I dilute specific products in my professional auto detailing world. Now let's get straight into it. What's going on? So glad you're here and welcome back to the Wilson Auto Detailing community. If you're a professional auto detailer who wants to become more successful and profitable in your business, or just a car enthusiast who wants to improve your detailing ability, then definitely consider hitting that big red subscribe button right below this video. So I just got done actually detailing a car today, and I wanted to shoot this video after I was done working so that I had a little bit more time. Now, many subscribers have asked me about dilution ratios. They've asked about what a dilution ratio is, how I dilute things, and if I could kind of go into more depth about that. And I think it's a very good question because if you don't understand this aspect, it's gonna hurt you for sure. So the first thing I want to answer is, what is a dilution ratio? Basically, I think the most simple way to put it is a dilution ratio is just the ratio of how much water to product that you're putting in a specific bottle. So for example, in front of me I have many of the different products that I use. I've got Purple Power, I have Super Clean, I have Meguiar's All-Purpose Cleaner, and I have Meguiar's Wheel Brightener. So these are all called concentrates. So what is a concentrate? A concentrate is just anything that can be diluted. Most of the time you're talking about diluted with water. So if somebody says that they have a concentrate of Super Clean or concentrate of a degreaser, they have a very, very, very strong, meaning chemically strong type of cleaner that when diluted with water can be used in different applications. So for example, when I say that I'm using Purple Power full strength, that means I'm not diluting it with water whatsoever. So I'm just using Purple Power on the sidewall of the tire or on an engine or on a wheel well, just straight out of the bottle. So I will take this jug and I'll pour it directly into a spray bottle. It's full strength. Now, when something is diluted, for example, I use this phrase a lot when I'm talking about Super Clean. I say that I dilute my Super Clean 5-to-1. What does that mean? Well, if you look on most of these chemical spray bottles, like these are the HDX spray bottles, I get them for about like $1 at Home Depot. If you look on the side, they have a kind of like a number graph, okay? And one side is ounces, and then the other side is in, it's in the metric system. I believe it's milliliters. And so when I say 5-to-1, what that means is the ratio, the fraction of water to Super Clean is 5-to-1, meaning for every 5 ounces of water, I put in 1 ounce of Super Clean. So to understand this, you have to understand basic math, but basically, if I'm doing 5 parts water to 1 part Super Clean, then that means for every 10 ounces of water, I'm putting in 2 ounces of Super Clean. And then I can go up by 5 again. For every 15 ounces of water, I'm putting in 3 ounces of Super Clean. And so what that does is it gives you a way to gauge the strength of your product. So for example, because Super Clean is a very powerful and strong degreaser and cleaner, that's why it's such a good product, you don't want to use something that strong without diluting it in water on something like the interior of a vehicle, because a lot of interior surfaces and interior plastics, leather, vinyl, rubbers, even those wood veneers, those things can be much more fragile. And so you want to dilute it with water because it's gonna make the strength of that cleaner weaker. So let me just give you guys a very practical application, practical example. Meguiar's All-Purpose Cleaner, I professionally dilute 10-to-1. So once again, when you say 10-to-1, you're talking about a ratio, a fraction. So in mathematics, if you say 10-to-1, or you put 10 over 1, or you put 10:1, all of those things are equal. They're all equivalent ways. They're different ways of saying the same thing. It's 10 parts whatever to 1 part whatever. So for 10 milliliters of water, it's 1 milliliter of cleaner. For 10 ounces of water, it's 1 ounce of cleaner, okay? So for every 10 parts of cleaner, no matter what measurement you're using, you're gonna put in 1 part of that same measurement of the cleaner. So for example, I will fill my Meguiar's All-Purpose Cleaner bottle up, and for practical application, once again, you can use this gauge right here on the side of the bottle. And so I believe that this right side here, or this side, is ounces. And so for example, if you're doing 10 to 1, well, this is a 32 ounce bottle. And so I'm gonna go ahead and fill it up probably to like the 30 line, maybe the 28 line. And if I'm gonna put in 30 ounces of water and I'm gonna dilute Meguiar's All-Purpose Cleaner 10 to 1, then for every 30 ounces of water, I'm gonna put in 3 ounces of cleaner. So I'll go ahead and fill this up all the way to the 30 ounce line, and then I'll go ahead and fill up the rest of the neck, because the rest of the neck is about 3 ounces exactly with Meguiar's All-Purpose Cleaner. But as far as the exact measurements go when you're diluting certain things like Purple Power, Meguiar's APC, maybe Meguiar's Wheel Brightener, things like that, when I say I dilute it 5 to 1, or I dilute it 3 to 1, or I dilute it 10 to 1, sometimes I'm a little bit off in my measurements because I don't try to get as exact as possible. If I do 5.5 to 1 or 4.5 to 1, when I'm trying to do 5 to 1, well, a half of an ounce or a half of a milliliter, or that half measurement is not going to make a big difference on how the product actually cleans when you're using it. And so I wouldn't get too caught up in dilution ratios when you're trying to be exact, because that's just kind of a waste of time. What I think is a good rule is just figure out, if I know my Meguiar's APC, I fill it up all the way to here with water, and then I fill up the rest of the neck with cleaner, then I'm just gonna real quickly fill it up. Even if I get to right here instead of right here, if I get a little bit over, I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm not gonna get too exact, because once again, those half of an ounce or half of a milliliter or whatever, it's not going to make that much of a difference. So once again, I dilute Meguiar's All-Purpose Cleaner 10 to 1, so for every 10 ounces of water, I put in 1 ounce of cleaner. For Super Clean Degreaser, I dilute this 5 to 1, so once again, this is gonna be for every 5 ounces of water, I put in 1 ounce of Super Clean, and that's going to make it a heavier cleaner. It's gonna be a more aggressive cleaner, because not only is it a degreaser, so degreasers by nature are more aggressive than all-purpose cleaners, but it's also a degreaser that is less diluted with water, and therefore there is more cleaner in it, and therefore it's going to be more powerful. And then things like Purple Power, I actually don't dilute at all. I reserve Purple Power full strength for engines, tires, wheel wells, things like that. So I like to use this full strength because it's safe in those specific applications that I just named, and it works really, really well with cutting away that grease, grime, all the heavy duty stuff, and the places where it's not just heavy duty, but it's also safe to use. So once again, guys, don't get too caught up in the dilution ratios. Make sure you have a general idea of kind of how you're diluting things, but once again, if you get a little bit off, it's not gonna affect anything, and you have to experiment in your own detailing world, because everybody's a little bit different as far as clientele and cars they're seeing, and so the dilution ratios that I use might not work perfectly for you. You might have to adjust them a little bit. So I'd encourage you, if you're starting with a degreaser, dilute it 5 to 1 and see what happens. If you're starting with an all-purpose cleaner, dilute it 10 to 1, see what happens, and just kind of go from there. Let that be kind of a foundational thing, and then from that place, you can kind of experiment and judge where you need to go. So there it is, guys. That's a quick crash course on dilution ratios. If you like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, and if you have any questions, comments, concerns, hook up all that stuff in the YouTube comments below, because I always read those, and I'm sure to get back to you guys as fast as I can. And if you're new to the Wilson Auto Detailing community, then definitely consider subscribing, because I come out with daily videos just like this on products, tools, strategies, communication skills, business skills, and so much more, all in an effort to help you guys become more profitable and successful in your auto detailing businesses. And on this channel, I share the exact strategies that allowed me to take my auto detailing business into a full-time income with only part-time hours. So if you're interested in that, definitely consider subscribing. Thank you guys so much again for being so involved here, and as always, from Luke here at Wilson Auto Detailing, keep working hard, and I'll see you guys in the next video.